Alright, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are live and in person for week 16 of Backyard Bookies. Joining me, as always, is my man Scott. Scott, live and in person. It's good to have you here.
It's very exciting to be here. It's not 20 degrees here.
No, it is
it's
80.
Nice and
it's a balmy 80.
It is nice and sunny and warm. 66 out here. It's a little different from what I'm used to, so we decided to come out here and do it in the backyard.
Live backyard show.
Great little backyard here just before Christmas. Got some lights, a little festive. Pete's got his little Santa hat going on here, so we're in the Christmas spirit, and we're giving out picks for Christmas here. So if you want to...
Well, maybe you're giving out picks. I don't know if I'm giving out picks. I'm giving out not to pick.
Yeah, if you're fading Pete, you're probably doing pretty well right now. But
it was a tough first week. We're gonna. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. They had us in the first half. We're gonna come back in the second half. But let's give the folks a quick rundown. You were plus 15 on the week. Excellent week. You started off 4-0. Hit Middle Tennessee Toledo over 55.5. Northern Illinois plus 10.5. That's the game I switched. I can't believe I switched that game. Western Kentucky App State over 66.5. Hit UTEP getting 11.5 from Fresno State. You hit. Lost on BYU versus UAB minus 7.5.
And I really felt good about that one, but Jaron Hall wasn't starting that game. It was Gunnar Romney. So if I would have known that, I would have maybe thought a little differently. But I'm obviously not a should have guy, not a would have could have guy. I picked it, and that's what happened.
They had a 4-point lead in that game in the second half, I believe, and they let UAB come back and beat them. So I'm glad they lost straight up. It makes me feel better about myself. You missed Liberty EMU.
That was a bad one.
That was tough. Malik looked great.
He did.
You were questioning.
He did. I'm not a big Malik guy, but he came out and played ball. I think Liberty almost got
scored 56.5.
I say they almost got the over by themselves. So it happens,
Tough game. Utah State plus 7.5. The third-string quarterback carried the day for you. Very surprised on that one. Very let down by Oregon State, mate. UL Lafayette covered easy, minus 5.5. Old Dominion plus 8.5. You missed. That was kind of just a weird game.
And that was one of my 5-point bettors. I felt really good about that, and didn't happen for me. Old Dominion didn't come out and play ball, so.
Yeah, tough. Wyoming Kent State under 58.5. Missed that.
Another one of those. Wyoming probably almost got the over by themselves too. So.
Easily hit the over UTSA SDSU. Not bad there. Army minus 4. You missed that one against Missouri.
I was watching that last night.
Tough.
And they had the ball at the 15-yard line. And I figured, man, maybe they'd try and punch it in, but no, they decided to just take a knee and kick the field goal to win the game by 2. So
all you had to do was get the stop in the last minute of the game. They were up 6, and they gave up the touchdown with a minute left.
I just figured Mizzou would be one of those teams that they can't stop the triple option. They sort of did, and they didn't score much against Army. So
it was a tough game.
It was it happened. So
and then you hit Miami of Ohio minus 3 versus UNT. The rat line.
I called the rat line. You loved UNT. I said no, sir. It's another one of those recency kind of biased kind of games. Well, not quite recency biased, but one of those games people think, okay, Miami, Ohio, they're going to really...
Well, they couldn't run the ball, UNT, and who knew their 29-year-old former Yankee minor league prospect couldn't throw a football. He was 15 of 35 today with 2 picks. That's really what surprised me. And then we got to hold off on UCF Florida, which is a current live game, but we'll have to update next week.
It's currently 9-7. 9-7. So I picked the under. So 9-7 with 6 minutes left in the second quarter. So still got a lot of game left. The live line's 49. So we'll see what happens there. But so far, I'm pretty happy, and I'm glad some of the ones that I didn't win were the ones I didn't put too many points on, besides the BYU game, but.
They were also the ones I bet with the same as you, too. So you put up that lead. I guess I'm going to have to talk about what I did. Minus 15 or minus 17 on the week. Tough. Real tough. Lost Toledo minus 10. Lost Coastal Carolina. Like I said, I switched that game. Hit Western Kentucky plus 3, though. That was money right there. Fresno State let me down minus 11.5. Really surprised how good UTEP ran the ball against them. Liberty minus 9.5. I only put a point on them, though. Malik looked fantastic. I was very hesitant on that. Oregon State totally let down against Utah State. I can't believe. When the third-string quarterback, his first collegiate pass was a 70-yard touchdown. I still wasn't feeling too bad about him in the second half, but total letdown. UL Lafayette, easy one. At least I got a little 4 points back there to stop the bleeding. Old Dominion, I had the same as you, plus 8.5, didn't show up. Kent State +3 got housed, only lost a point on that one. UTSA was the real letdown for me. -2, 4 points, and they got housed by San Diego State in the second half. I didn't get that one. That was a close game. It was a 3-point game.
It was a close game. San Diego State, they have a decent defense, and they also, like I said, they also have that weapon at punter. But UTSA has had such a good year. You figure they'd come out and have a good one against a top team. But I guess maybe they're frauds. I don't know. Maybe they're complete frauds. We'll see.
USA frauds. Army -4 lost that one too. I fell for the rat line. UNT +3. That was a 5-point hitter. I got Florida -7, only 1 point on that game, so I'm not going to do any damage or help myself at all moving forward. But let's get into this week. It's week 2. We are almost at the playoffs. The juicy bowl games are starting to come up right before New Year's here. So what's the first game? We got Hawaii, first game on the deck.
Yeah, so we got a pretty good slate here. We got about I think 17 games we got to go through here. A lot of games on Thursday. I think there's 4 or 5 games on Thursday. It's gonna be a busy week. So stay tuned for to see how we do. But first game, we got Memphis and Hawaii in the Hawaii Bowl. Hawaii is typically always in this bowl game. I don't think they'd like to leave the island. I wouldn't either. But Memphis is -9. Over/under is 55.5. Looking at the stats here, we got the over. 57% is on the over right now. And really looking at the last couple games for both teams, they've kind of put up some points. I think Memphis against Houston. Houston's a good team. They only put up 13. But they put up points, 29, 28, 33. UCF, they kind of had a stinker. But Hawaii also, we don't imagine Hawaii is a very high-scoring, prolific team. But they put up some points. They put up 50 against Colorado State, 38 against Wyoming.
Timmy Chang. They had Timmy Chang one time.
And Cole Brennan. R.I.P. to Cole Brennan. But Utah State, they put up 31, so they know how to score points. The line right now, 55.5. I think we can get at least 28 points out of both teams, so a little more than that, 35, 38. So I'm going to take the over. I like 55.5. I'm going to take 4 on this one. I like it a lot. The only worry I have is Memphis. I don't know how long Memphis has been in Hawaii. It's a long trip for that team.
Vacation.
If they've been there for about a week or so and they're used to the time change and they haven't been partying too much on the beach, maybe they'll maybe they'll have a little snoozer. Maybe Hawaii will come out and win because they're used to that kind of environment, I guess. But yeah, we'll take the over 55.5. I think we're betting 4.
Ooh,
yep, 4.
Big amount of points. All right, like you said, it's the Hawaii Bowl in Hawaii. The rest and relaxation for the Memphis Tigers is going to be a little bit too much for you. I'm getting 8.5 points as the home team with the Rainbow Warriors here. I'm taking Hawaii plus 8.5. 3 points on this game I'm putting down. I think this is a total game. Memphis, it's freezing cold. It's ugly. They've been sitting out. They've been drinking. They've been having a good time in Hawaii, sitting on the beach. It's gorgeous weather. They're not going to be dialed in for this game. And if they are, 8.5 points is a lot of points to beat a team by. Both teams aren't that great. Memphis is 6-6 on the season. I think Hawaii's 7-5. So nothing crazy here from the Memphis. It's not like a 10-win team rolling into town. It's very average conference coming into town. I swallowed too many points last week, so this week I'm going to
put some in your pocket.
I'm buying points this week, so I'm going to take Hawaii plus 8.5 with 3 points. All right, next game, Georgia State and Ball State. Very interesting kind of game for everybody to watch.
Yeah, so we have the Camellia Bowl. That's how you say it.
The names are amazing.
In Montgomery, Alabama. In the Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama. I'm sure there'll be probably a sellout for that game. We got Ball State and Georgia State. Georgia State's -5.5. Over/under is 51. I will tell you, I know Pete's bet on Ball State this year. Maybe 1 or 2 times, maybe twice, maybe just one time. I think it was just the Ohio State game, maybe. Or something.
It was Miami, Ohio, and they
right.
couldn't even cover that game. Oh no, it was the Ohio State game. You're right.
Yeah.
They were getting like 50 points.
Yeah, so he bet on once. I don't have absolutely no clue about either one of these teams really. I'm looking at the stats here. One stat really stood out to me right now. The bettors are 84% on Georgia State. Maybe because Ball State they lost some people. Maybe I have no idea.
Georgia State's got to be a good running team. They're always like a triple option team. They can always run the ball, it feels like.
Yeah. For me here, it's just looking at that the betting lines here. People love Georgia State. I don't know much about them. I don't know much about Ball State. I don't know much about Georgia State. So when I don't know that, I like to put some points in my pocket. We'll take Ball State plus 5.5. I don't feel great about this one. I'm going to take 2 points on it. Just because, I haven't watched them yet. You've maybe watched them a little. I don't know how anyone really would. But yeah, Georgia State seems like a team that they'd probably run the ball like crazy. 51.5 sounds like they're probably a running team. Both teams might be a slow kind of.
I got this number for you right here. So I'm going to take Georgia State on this one. 5.5 points. Georgia State, 24th ranked rushing offense in the country this year.
That makes
Ball
sense.
State, 91st ranked rushing defense. That's kind of a mismatch. I know we saw a mismatch earlier with Army and Missouri, but these ain't Army, this ain't Missouri. These are lower quality tier teams, so when you have a mismatch like this, it tends to get exploited. Missouri's still an SEC team. They could figure it out against Army. I don't know if Ball State's going to be able to figure it out against Georgia State. Plus, you know what? Ball State, you let me down once this year. I'm not betting on you again. Little guys, you don't get this leash. Like, you bailed on New Mexico once they let you down against Wyoming. You bailed on them. Couldn't bet those unders anymore. So I'm going with Georgia State. Also, not a lot of points here. 2 points. It's way too scary of a game for me to touch. It's weird that a game like this is this late into bowl season. I guess it's Christmas Day. There you go. It's a little something to watch after.
Yeah, throw the bad teams in on Christmas Day, so we have something to watch. All the good teams can rest up and be with their families and stuff. So
yeah. All right. Next game, Nevada at Western Michigan. What is the bowl? This actually doesn't have the bowl game.
It's so irrelevant. They don't even have the bowl name in action.
Let's call it the Detroit Please Don't Shoot Me Bowl.
We can
between Nevada Wolfpack and the Western Michigan Broncos.
Yeah, so once again, just like the game we just talked about, I don't have any idea. Haven't watched Nevada, haven't watched Western Michigan. But what I do see here is this year Nevada is 8-4 with the over. Western Michigan 6-6. Nevada's kind of tailed off a little bit on the over, but the last two they've had 2 overs, 2 unders before that. I don't really even want to touch this line. I have no. I couldn't tell you a single player that's played in Nevada and Western Michigan besides in the past 8 years. Seth Patterson and Colin Kaepernick is all I know. But I think just because I'm seeing these stats on, they like the over. 56 seems like it's definitely doable. You have two teams that, when you just have two teams that don't know much against each other, it just seems like it's going to be an over. So we'll take the over 56. Did I have it at 56? Yep. So 56 when I did my picks a few days ago. 56. I'm only going to take 2 on this one. Just once again one of those games that I just have no idea. So
this game is Monday, the 27th at 10 a.m. local time. This is just awful. All 10 a.m. Central Time. It's in Detroit. I believe Detroit's in the Central Time Zone.
And that's almost one more reason to probably take the under, honestly, because they're going to be tired. They're going to be sleepy. They want to get up at 6 a.m. on
5 a.m.
on Monday just to get there. It's I sure as hell wouldn't want to do that. So this is the Tax Act. This is the Quick Lane Bowl.
There you go.
Quick Lane Bowl. I just kind of want to see how much tickets cost at the Quick Lane Bowl.
$3?
Doesn't even say on here. I have no idea. $5.
There you go to get in.
Lowest ticket's $5. If you want to go to the Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit, very easy ticket to get for 10 a.m. So I don't know what do you got on this? I have no idea.
I'm going to take the points here. I'm getting 6.5 with Nevada. Nevada is 7-4 against the spread this year. 8-4 overall. So they didn't have a bad season. Western Michigan 4-5-1 against the spread. Those seem to be the numbers I like to look at when I don't have a good team, and I'm getting the points with the team that's better against the spread. Only going to sprinkle 2 points on this game. 10 a.m. Love the under pick here at 10 a.m. kickoff. That's absolutely insane. You know what? Detroit must be in the Eastern Time Zone just barely. You're right in there. But it's still 11 a.m. kickoff. Nobody wants any part of this game. On Monday the 27th, they had Christmas 2 days before. This is just going to be ugly, low scoring. Nobody's going to be watching it here. I can't believe tickets are $5. I feel like they should be giving them away.
They should be paying people to go to this game.
They should be paying fans. If you're in Nevada, I'm paying people to come support my team because I'm not leaving the nice, warm, decent weather in Nevada this time of the year. Reno, world's biggest little city. Just, why would I go to Detroit where it's probably going to be like 5 degrees outside for Christmas? Oh, I get to see snow and gunshot wounds for Christmas. Just absolutely blast. So I'm going to take Nevada plus 6.5 with 2 points. Yeah, a game that I know literally nothing about. We're committed. We are committed.
We're picking every game here.
We are committed to picking every game. Next game, though, is a little bit more interesting. Boston College and Eastern Carolina. What do you like on this one?
Yeah, so we got Boston College, Eastern Carolina in the Military Bowl. BC is -3 here.
Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in Annapolis for the Military Bowl. That's just a beautiful. I had no idea that's the name of the stadium. I just had to put that out there. It's a great name for the stadium. But go ahead, 3 points right here.
Very nice. So Boston College had a decent start to begin the year. I think they may have gotten close to being ranked.
I think you're right. They definitely were. I
know
they were ranked.
They beat Clemson early on, right?
Yeah.
I believe they did. So they're not a bad team. So just looking on their schedule now, I mean, they had a bad loss against Wake Forest. They got their ass kicked. Really bad loss against Florida State. You can't lose to Florida State. Beat Georgia Tech. Beat Virginia Tech in a pretty low-scoring matchup there. And then lost to Syracuse in their last 5. Eastern Carolina. This is kind of the reason I'm picking the way I am. Eastern Carolina's had a pretty good last 5. They got beat by Cincinnati pretty good, and then they rallied off 4 wins before that. Memphis, a decent team, they're a bowl team. Navy, beat Army, who's also a bowl team. Temple, in South Florida. But I feel like, let's actually take a look at the spread. So 58% is on Boston College. I'm actually going to be on the same train here. Boston College -3. Once again, don't know much about this game. It's a little more interesting, but I think just because Boston College, they're 6-6 team, they want to be there.
Real conference.
ECU. They did.
It's a decent conference team.
Yeah, I mean they also they played well before they played the Cincinnati team who's in the playoff here. So.
And they didn't get completely embarrassed. They lost by 20. They could have lost by 50.
Yeah, definitely.
Easily
so I think most people might maybe be on Eastern Carolina, so I might take the other side. Boston College, it is only 58% on Boston College, so it's kind of split down the middle a little bit. But we'll take BC -3, and I got 2 on that one.
I'm the other way. I'm going to take Eastern Carolina +3 here. That's my philosophy this week. I'm taking points left and right. 3 points seems like enough. 7-4 against the spread at Eastern Carolina. Like you said, rolled off 4 wins in a row. Should have been 4 covers in a row. It was 3.5. They won by 3 against Navy, so right at the number. Lost to Cincinnati. Who hasn't lost to Cincinnati? Literally everybody's lost to Cincinnati. So I don't fault them for that one. The cold weather is the only thing I'm a little bit hesitant about. I feel like an under in this game has got to be juicy. I haven't looked at what the under is.
42 degrees and partly cloudy in Annapolis.
And I can't imagine Boston College is any sort of finesse team. Boston College is known for having smash mouth power football if they're going to have any kind of football there. So low scoring game. I'm going to take points when I'm in a low scoring game here. That's really my only thing. I'm only going to put a point down on this. It's really not a game that I feel comfortable betting because you never know with BC. BC comes out, all of a sudden they beat a good team, or they get housed by a bad team. It's just, you never know with BC. It depends what kind of mood they're in. They're a dangerous team to bet during the season. Don't ever bet a Boston College game during the season or bet against Boston College during the season because you never know what you're going to get. You get them on a Thursday night, and it happens to be the red bandana game they play, and oh, shit. You're a top 10 team going down. So I hate touching Boston College games during the regular season. But I'm going to take points here. 3 points for Eastern Carolina. Only going to sprinkle a point on it. This next game, though, very, very intriguing to me. We got the Houston Cougars versus the Auburn Tigers. Should be a very good game. We're really getting into good games now, I think.
Yeah, this is going to be on the 28th, so we're starting to get into the really good ball games here. Houston is ranked 20th. Auburn is off. Obviously, they're off that win against Bama, but they don't have Bo Nix anymore. Bo Nix is off to Eugene. So I mean, he wasn't very good this year anyway. But and he also wasn't the quarterback against Alabama. So Bo Nix I never liked to begin with.
Bo Nix.
But yeah, so just looking at this, I feel like Auburn being an SEC team, that's why they're the favorite. They played very good competition this year. Houston not so much. They played Cincinnati, obviously. They beat your UConn Huskies.
Who didn't beat my UConn Huskies?
That's your squad. Memphis, Temple, USF, they beat all them pretty handily. But
they didn't cover against UConn.
I was about to say they're only 2-3 against the spread in those 5 games. So little hesitant there, but yeah. So Auburn last 4, they've lost 4 in a row. Picked them a few times in that little skid to go down. A&M beat the shit out of them. Mississippi State beat them in a pretty high scoring game. South Carolina beat them in a low scoring game, and Bama beat them in the Iron Bowl in that triple overtime crazy game. But I feel like Auburn's going to be at home. They don't really want. I don't feel like they're going to want to be there.
No.
Houston might want to. I don't know if they want to be there either. It's Birmingham, Alabama. Who knows what's going on in Birmingham? But Houston ranked number 20. I feel like this might be a little bit of a rat line here. Houston being ranked number 20, I feel like they're going to get most of the. They're actually not. I felt like Houston's going to get most of the bets, but actually Auburn's getting 60% with the points. So I'm going to take Houston plus 2.5. This might not happen. I'm a little scared about this one. I'm taking the rat pick here. This is absolutely the rat pick. Picking Houston plus the points. But we're going to do it. 3 points on this one. I feel okay, but like I said, this one's kind of.
It's tough.
A lot of factors going into this one, so we'll see what happens.
You smell a rat line. You know what, Scott? Let's enjoy some cheese together, though. I'm on the Houston Cougars as well, plus 2.5 here. Auburn was ranked 16th in the country. They've lost 4 straight. Recency bias, I think, here. Houston got housed by Cincinnati in the second half. Auburn played that great game against Alabama in the Iron Bowl. I'm not buying it. Auburn's got a great defense. Houston's going to struggle to score points here in this game.
It's a completely different atmosphere in this kind of game. I mean, with Auburn playing in the Iron Bowl, I mean that's their bowl game right there.
That's everything. They're 6-6 on the season. Houston 9-0 their last 9 lines. They've covered. Last game they didn't cover was Cincinnati. So before that, 9-0 on the season, didn't cover the conference championship game. So absolutely loving the Houston Cougars here. I'm not sure what the holdouts for Auburn's defense is. I can't imagine everybody's playing for Auburn's defense in this game. They got multiple guys that are going to get drafted here. Can't imagine they're playing in the Birmingham, Alabama Bowl.
No.
They don't, like you said, no Bo Nix. Started most of their games this year. No Tank Bigsby, running back. Running back is transferred.
That's even big, too.
That's another
big player.
Big out on there. There's been a lot of talk about how shitty Auburn fans are, and that's why everyone's leaving, because they hate that offense. And Auburn doesn't know what it's like to have terrible offense, okay? They don't know yet. You'll learn, Auburn. So I think Houston's going to be up and ready for this one. I agree. It's kind of a rat line at 2.5 points. It's so tasty. But I'm going to take the ball. I'm going to bite the bull here, and I'm going to put 4 points down here on Houston. I just don't think Auburn shows up. It's such a trap game, so we can hear the narrative how shitty SEC teams are and how overrated we are. Because SEC teams don't show up in meaningless bowl games. That's a well-known fact.
Yep.
If the game doesn't mean anything, they barely show up.
I'm not going.
So I think I'm okay. I'm okay with this one. If we're going down, we're going down together.
Definitely smells like a rat, but
you gotta take it sometimes.
Sometimes I'll take the cheese. Sometimes I do. I don't like to, but sometimes it's not.
Sometimes it's golden goose.
Hope so.
Sometimes it's a good one. All right, next game, Air Force and Louisville. Very awkward kind of game here. Yeah, 2 teams that I don't know really anything about or can't expect anything just because Air Force, didn't win their the Armed Forces Bowl. They got beat by Army. So 9-3 on the season for Air Force and 6-6 for Louisville. What do you got for this one?
So we're looking at the last 5 here. Air Force has actually covered their last 3 and won their last 3. They didn't really play anybody. They played UNLV, who's a bottom feeder a little bit. Nevada, who's a bowl team, they barely squeaked past them. Colorado State beat them by 14, covered in that one. But before that, got beat by Army, got beat by San Diego State. Then we got Louisville, not looking super good the last 5. They beat Duke, they beat Syracuse, but they got their ass kicked by Kentucky. Lost to Clemson, lost to NC State, only covered 2 out of the 3 there. And we can look at 61% on Air Force. To me, that's kind of. I mean, the spread's 1. I mean, the spread's 1 here. This is literally a coin flip here. Honestly, I don't think it's even worth taking the point for Air Force. I don't think they're going to come out. I mean, this is the first responder bowl, so they might have some.
There you go.
They might have some some motivation there. Who knows? But I don't know. I think Louisville -1 might be the play here. Once again, don't really know too much about either one of these teams, but just looking at the stats here, I don't feel like most are going to take Air Force. This First Responders Bowl. This is probably a big game for them.
This is big
even though they're 9-3, they had a decent season, but I think Louisville will come out and play pretty well. I got 3 on this one, -1.
Okay, I'm going to go a different route here. I'm going to go with the total, sitting at 55.5. Kind of a low number, not crazy low, not really that high either. I don't know. They haven't been great against the totals down the overs in the last 6, but they scored some points, Air Force, 48, 41, 35, 14 against Army, 14 against San Diego State. I'm not going to fault those teams. Both Army, San Diego State, great defense. But the offense has been clicking the last 3. Louisville, not bad on offense either. 21, 62, 41, 24, 13 against NC State. I'm not going to hurt them there on the last one. So I'm going with the over here. 55.5 just doesn't feel like enough. Get a 35, 28 game. You're right over there.
I mean, and Air Force is also one of those running teams. So
yes.
They're gonna be milking the clock a little bit, just like last night with Army and Missouri having
you never know. Again, I'm putting 1 point on this one. I had to bet it over. And this felt like right over here. The score's been crazy high, like you said, the last week or so. Teams on defenses aren't really trying, and the offenses can score at will in today's day in college football. So I think that's good enough for me to hit over 55.5. I like Louisville here in this game with the point. I don't think it's worth taking a point for Air Force. I mean, maybe if you want to bet that money line there, you might get a little extra scratch on that, I'm sure.
Barely, though. I don't know if you're getting hardly anything. We'll see what we get. But, yeah, you're getting -102 or -118. This is literally a toss-up here.
It's a couple bucks right there.
It's a couple bones if you...
I'll buy you a drink at the bar for that one. So, yeah, I'm going to go 1 point on the over-under in that one. Next game I'm very excited for some reason. We have the Mike Leach current team Mississippi State versus Mike Leach former team in Texas Tech.
Yep, so we got the Mike Leach Bowl here. I think Mike Leach might have made the right decision to leave.
Maybe.
Obviously he went to Wazoo first, but then he came down to Mississippi State to play in the SEC and did a decent job with that team. My line is 9.5. Over-under is 58.5. Texas Tech is not the team that we've seen at all in the past. They don't score that many points. This isn't the old Mike Leach team, or even just after that, even the Cliff Kingsbury teams. It's just not what we see anymore. Texas Tech's they have 5 overs, 6 unders. Mississippi State's 6-6 against over/under there. It's a pretty evenly matchup against the spread, honestly, with the games they played against their other opponents. But Mississippi State, it was an okay loss against Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a great team.
It's an Egg Bowl. It's a rivalry game.
Yeah, one of those games again. Tarleton, they beat the shit out of Auburn. They beat pretty handily. Put up some points against Arkansas, but lost to them. Put up some points against Kentucky and beat them. But like I said, Texas Tech in the last 5 games only really showed out really well, and that was weirdly enough against Iowa State, putting up 41 against that pretty decent defense.
They played Baylor pretty close.
Yeah, I mean they put 24 up against them, so it's not a crazy number. They put a goose egg on Oklahoma State, 21 on Oklahoma. It's not a good defensive team either. Kansas State, who's usually a defensive team, but not this year.
Not really this year.
Over/under is 58.5. I think that's way too high.
That's way too high.
I do think Mississippi State. I think it'll be more like a 38-10 game. So if you want to take that line, swallow those points, I'd probably have to agree with you a little bit. The Mike Leach revenge game is definitely he's one of those guys that he's not going to let up against his old team. No shot he lets up against Texas Tech. He's going to go full
down their throat.
So yeah, Rogers is going to throw the ball like crazy like he did in those first couple games. Yeah, but I don't think Texas Tech's going to score much. 58.5. I'll take the under. Would also like the Mississippi State -9.5. I'm going to take 4.
All right.
Like this one a lot. Take the under 4. 58.5 under, and we'll take 4 points.
Like you said, Mike Leach's boys are not going to let Mike Leach lose this game. I'm going to swallow those points, 9.5 here. I love Mississippi State in this game. Texas Tech has nothing. They might even bet a little let down because they were in the Quinn Ewers discussion here, and they obviously didn't get him. So even more of a letdown for that program. They're kind of falling off. They're dwindling towards the bottom of the Big 12 here. Mike Leach's boys had a good season, 7-5 for them. Pretty good for Mississippi State. They're not a very
tough conference, so
tough.
What are you gonna
great,
do?
The best division in college football. I don't think anybody's gonna argue that. Don't give me this Big Ten nonsense. The SEC West is the top tier here, so I'm gonna swallow those points. I'm only gonna put 3 down on this one, not fully in on this. I just don't see them letting. They're not gonna let Mike Leach lose to his former team. Guys say a lot of stuff. Mike Leach, you can say what you want as a head coach. Not necessarily the best head coach. Very quirky kind of guy. You know, he'll talk about Bigfoot for 6 hours with you and have interesting discussion about UFOs. But his players love him. There's one player that said anything bad about him, and it literally got him fired at Texas Tech because it was Craig James. Craig James is a prick son that he locked in the closet with the concussion. But everybody else loves Mike Leach. They play hard for Mike Leach. So yeah, I like Mississippi State in this game. I'm gonna swallow these points. The SEC, much better team. You know, Tech's another power conference team that's. I just can't see Texas Tech getting up for this game. What are they going to do? They can't stop anybody in the Big 12. They're not going to stop a better offensive team from the SEC. So I'm going to go with Mississippi State minus 9.5 here. I like that. I'm moving down a little bit. I was willing to swallow 10, but I'm going to I'm gonna take that half a point where I can get it.
It was 10.5, a little scarier.
A little scarier.
9.5. I like that number.
Very good number. All right, next game. Very good. This is a very interesting game. UCLA and NC State.
Yep, so they got the Holiday Bowl out in Petco Park.
I've been to the Holiday Bowl.
Have you?
Yeah. Texas lost to somebody. Vince Young played in that game. I was at that game.
Must have been an early Vince Young game.
It was early Vince Young.
Freshman Vince Young?
Freshman or sophomore Vince Young.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But we got UCLA. We got NC State. NC State's minus 1.5. Over-under's 59.5. For some reason, this game just screams over.
Chip Kelly. Offense.
Yeah, I mean, looking at NC State, they put up at least 28 the last 5. UCLA, they put up 42, they put up 62, they put up 44, they put up 31. I think the line's way too small for the over-under 59.5. This might be a little ratty too. Maybe a little. Not full rat, not full rat here. Because I don't think many people know much about either one of these teams, but.
Which is weird for good. I mean, 9-3 and 8-4.
Yeah, I mean, NC State's been under the radar. They've had a few bad losses. Not bad losses. They lost to Wake Forest, but they've done really well against the teams in the last 5 at UNC, Syracuse.
That comeback against UNC was something else.
Yeah, that was nice for me.
That
was a good one for me. I was watching that one. I was pretty pumped. But they both put up points. I think they're going to be in California. That just smells to me points. I don't know why California just screams points. I don't know what it is. It'll be a 30 to, I'd say maybe like a 35-31, maybe a 38-35. It'll be a little bit of a little bit of a track meet. I feel like. So 59.5. I'll take the over. Put 3 on that one.
Right.
Not supremely confident, but
enough confident.
Confident enough to put up some points on it.
I can't trust Chip Kelly. There was, all that talk about Chip Kelly going to Oregon. That didn't go anywhere, obviously. I can't trust Chip Kelly in this game. Like you said, NC State had a very under the radar, very good season in the ACC. They kind of got a little bit of bad luck towards the end there to not get into that ACC championship game and get a crack at Pitt. That game against Wake Forest, that was the killer loss. But like you said, took care of UNC, late comeback, took care of Syracuse. They actually beat Florida State, which is that's the bar we set in the ACC. Can you handle Florida State?
Most can.
Most can, but sometimes you don't. You get tripped up. Yeah. But like you said, UCLA track meet last few lost a close game to Oregon, got housed by Utah. Hung 44 against Colorado, 62 against USC, and 42 against Cal. They're scoring a lot of points here. Both teams very good against the spread this year, 7-3 and 6-4. I'm going to take the team I perceive to be better, a little bit under the radar. I'm going to swallow 1.5 here with NC State. I just can't trust Chip Kelly. There's something in me that says, Chip, I don't know. He's just too weird of a guy for me. I'm not huge confident on this one, but I'm going to swallow the 1.5. 2 points on NC State. Just because maybe this could be pure bias, people. Bet against it if you know. I have bet on NC State earlier this year. I'm pretty sure. I've watched actually more games than I'd care to admit for NC State, just because I watch a lot of college football, and they're usually on later in the evening in the ACC. So yeah, very, very solid fundamental team. And when you have solid fundamentals on a bowl week, usually good things happen. You know, who the hell knows? San Diego could be a party. I don't know what the rules are in San Diego. California, you may not be allowed to leave your house.
It's very true. Very true.
Who knows? And then UCLA, they're taking the bus. It's like a 30-minute bus trip down there to San Diego. So they're not even really in a bowl game. I don't feel like so. I don't know how much they're going to be enjoying this. Much better than getting out of North Carolina. I'm pretty sure it's pretty cold this time of the year down in the Carolinas, surprisingly. A lot of snow down there. So I'm going to put 2 points on the Wolfpack, minus a 1.5. Next game on the docket is Minnesota and West Virginia. West Virginia and Minnesota.
So we got the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. Just love these names.
Do you get a guaranteed rate?
I don't know what's in their swag bag. I can't imagine what's in the Guaranteed Rate swag bag.
You get a $100,000 credit on a loan you can put down on a house.
Something like that. You get a great rate on your student loan or your mortgage, something like that. I can't even imagine what could be in that swag bag, but maybe
it's in Phoenix. Hey, man.
It is in Phoenix.
Maybe
so
a set of golf clubs.
That'd be cool.
I know.
I'd be okay with that.
Playing at the baseball stadium.
Playing at Chase Field, yeah. So we have Minnesota's minus 4.5 against West Virginia. Over-under's 45. Very low number, but Minnesota is notorious for playing slow as well as having very low lines. Last 5, 39. 43.5, 37, 44.5, 43.5. So everything's going to be in the 40s, if not even in the 40s, maybe in the 30s. They're a very pro-style offense. They'll run the ball. They're gonna have time possession. The clock's gonna tick, and then on defense, they usually stop you.
Under 39 in their game against Wisconsin. That's just crazy.
And then even Illinois, 14-6 in that one. So really looking at that, West Virginia doesn't really. They don't impress me that much. They barely beat Kansas. They barely beat a shitty Texas team. They beat Iowa State. They put up points against them. But Oklahoma State, they couldn't play against a good defense. Oklahoma State, that's probably the best defense they played all year, and they put up 3, which is telling me right now. Usually I'd take an under here, 45, but I actually think I like Minnesota minus 4.5. 71% on Minnesota, which is kind of
scary.
I would imagine that's probably about right. It seems about right. I don't think people really trust West Virginia too much. Once again, they're not one of those West Virginia teams of old who puts up a bunch of points. But
they started well early. They had a nice early win against Virginia Tech, but both teams pretty much petered out and did nothing on the season. So I get it.
So 45 is a pretty low number. So I'm gonna stay away from that. I can see Minnesota putting up a decent amount of points. I don't know what I'm talking about. I really don't, but I like Minnesota. Minus 4.5 here. Or take 4.
Ooh.
Or take 4. I just don't think West Virginia has played a defense quite like Minnesota, Big Ten defense. We love our Big Ten unders and Big Ten defenses. Usually this is a spot where I'd pick an over-under, but we're going to stay away. We're going to take the Golden Gophers minus 4.5. I'll take 4.
I'm with you. I'm on PJ Flex Bunch as well. The Gophers, big win against Wisconsin. It's a good way to end the season. They had some letdown games. Really, they really should have been in that Big Ten championship game. They had massive letdowns against teams that they lost games they should not have lost. They had no business losing. They probably should have beat Iowa, but lost a game to Purdue they shouldn't have lost. They lost a game to Illinois. I think they lost that Illinois game 14-6. So games that you can't lose, they blew it. But they've been trending in the right direction. Like I said, beating a good Wisconsin team. 4.5. It's a big number for the way they play.
Yeah, definitely is.
But like you said, West Virginia, mediocre offense in a conference that's got a lot of mediocre defenses. I just don't see West Virginia moving the ball in this game.
I think that Oklahoma game is more telling than anything.
Yes,
Oklahoma State. Sorry, the Oklahoma State game is telling against is more telling than anything in this game.
Yeah, that's very similar to a Big Ten type defense. Probably not even as good as Minnesota's defense there. So I just, get me 2 touchdowns, get me 17, and I'm feeling good.
17-10 is going to do the job. 20 to 14 might do the job, something like that.
Maybe we get a defensive score here, set up a strip sack at the 5. We got good field position there. But yeah, I'm gonna put 3 points on this game too. A good amount of points on this game for us. I honestly can't believe we're putting this many points on a Minnesota West Virginia game.
Yeah, I mean, also you're thinking about weather here. Chase Field. You're going to be indoors. There's no snow. There's no slippery balls out there. I mean, if Minnesota would be in a weather game, there'd be more chance of fumbles or bad throws. This is going to be great. It's an indoor stadium, 71 in the air conditioning.
So the offense can complement the defense.
Yes,
and we're going to be able to put points up on this. All right.
And West Virginia, they play in the snow too. So once again, we don't know anything. We're just telling our opinions here. But we do like Minnesota.
All right, next game, SMU and UVA at Fenway Park. We're playing in Fenway Park this game.
So this is a game I looked at earlier. UVA minus 2.5. The number I'm looking at here is the over/under 71.5.
It's a number.
That is a high number. That's a 35 plus game. Man, I hate this. I really do. This over/under is so high. It's almost like you have to take the under in this one. UVA 24-38, 3 against Notre Dame, 49 against BYU, 48 against Virginia Tech. They're all scoring points, but still 71.5 is a lot of points. SMU 31, 14, 55, 20, 25, 37. So they do put up points, but also 71, like I said, big number. So I love the under so much in this game. I love it more than anything in the world, Ron. Then I'm taking the over 71.5.
Not so fast. Not so fast.
This game just screams under. It's an obvious under. It's the most obvious under in the whole bowl season right now. So you have to take the over.
Okay.
I have no choice but take the over.
I love the commitment.
You put a gun to my head and say take the under.
Can't do it.
I'm taking the over.
He's taking the
over. I have to. But
how many points you?
But once again, I'm so torn here that I'm only willing to put one down.
Pussy.
I'm only willing to put one down here. If we were betting money, if we were betting our normal
this would be a 20
accruance, it'd probably be a 33 or 44.
But
this is bowl season. I'm usually one that I'd pick and choose games. We're picking every game here.
We are.
I'm good at picking and choosing games. I'm not so good at picking every game. So yeah, 1 point here. I'm just gonna watch it and hopefully watch all kinds of offense. Who knows what's gonna happen?
You're praying for offense. You know what?
We are one factor here though. We are at Fenway Park. We do have some weather. Possible drizzle. Hate saying that word, but possible drizzle. 36 degrees. This could be a run game. This could be a running game. And this could just milk all the clock, and they won't even get close to 60. So if they can throw, 71.5 can happen. But the rain kind of scares me a little bit. The temperature scares me, but they're both. I mean, UVA plays in this kind of conditions. SMU doesn't as much.
Good.
But
I got some good news for you though. The rain is a problem. UVA 4th best passing offense in the country. They sling the rock. So
I don't know if you watched the game against BYU. There was almost 100 points scored in this game.
66-49. They got no defense, but they can sling the rock. SMU has been shit their last 5. They beat UCF. Congratulations. I'm not impressed by UCF whatsoever. Lost to Houston, lost to Memphis, lost to Cincinnati, lost to Tulsa. They just really fell off ever since that Houston. They were undefeated going into that Houston game. They gave up the kick return with 20 seconds left to lose that game. Game they were winning. UVA, another mediocre year in the ACC. They got a new head coach, so maybe that's a little inspiring to them. Little scary number here. Against Notre Dame, they did only score 3 points. But 2.5 for UVA, I love it. I just love it. I think the Cavs blow out SMU. Again, I think they're going to have no problem scoring 40 or 50 points in this game, so that's good for you as well. Because their defense can't stop anybody. They gave up 48 to Pitt. 66 to BYU, 40 to Georgia Tech. Like, holy shit. That's
another running team that you'd imagine that, they don't score as much.
Yeah,
but
so that's 1 million points. I'm going to put 4 points down on the Cavs, though. I'm loving this.
Love it.
2.5. It's a field goal. Just give me a field goal, baby. That's easy. Now, I'm going to be sick when it gets awkward, somebody misses a goddamn extra point, and I lose this game by half a point because they win by 2. So I'm going to be sick when that happens with my luck and streak going. That's exactly what's going to happen. But I'm going to put it on UVA, 2.5, 4 points on this one. Big bet. Let's stay in the state of Virginia. We have Maryland, Virginia Tech, old school ACC matchup.
So this is being played in your neck of the woods here in the Pinstripe Bowl at old Yankee Stadium. 3
straight baseball stadiums we've had.
Hey.
It's baseball day.
That's perfectly fine with me. That might be a good foreshadowing into a soon podcast with us, futures podcast here. If we're playing baseball this year, hopefully we are. Man, yeah. So Maryland's minus 3.5 versus Virginia Tech. Over/under's 55. Once again, one of these games that they're both 6-6. They're both very fluky teams. Maryland's 3-8 against the spread. Virginia Tech's 5-7 against the spread. The over/unders are looking like Maryland 6-5, just right down the middle here, and a lot of unders for Virginia Tech here. Really looking at the recent schedule, the last 5. There's nothing that really sticks out to me whatsoever with both teams, besides maybe Maryland. The last before Rutgers, the Rutgers game, they lost pretty handily against Michigan, lost pretty handily against Michigan State, and got pretty beat up by Penn State as well. But those are all 3 very good teams.
Better half of that.
And Indiana, they barely beat, who was a highly ranked team this year, but at the very beginning, and then they didn't do so well after that. But so really looking at here, Maryland loses to bad teams. They barely beat pretty bad teams. This is just one of those games. I feel like I just need to put those points in your pocket, and we'll just root for the Hokies to cover here. 3.5. I'm taking 2 on this one. Don't feel good about this one as well. Just one of those games that really could go either way. I'd even, if I was in Vegas, maybe sprinkle a little money on Virginia Tech money line. Just because it's just one of those that the spread almost doesn't really matter. It could really go anyway. I don't.
It's win the football game or don't win the football game.
It's really what it boils down to with both these games, both these teams. Sorry, it just.
No confidence. I'm with you 100%. I'm only putting a point down on this game. I'm going with the state of Virginia here. We just picked the Cavs. We're going to take the Hokies here. Like you said, plus 3.5. I've been swallowing a lot of points. I've been buying a lot of points this week. So, again, could go either way. Who knows with Maryland? They started off pretty well. Young Tua looked good. I shouldn't say young Tua. Young Tagovailoa looked good. But you'll always be his little brother. But yeah, average team, both 6-6. Va Tech also started good, beat North Carolina in the opener for the season, lost to West Virginia. It's just either way, 50-50. I think it's good value here getting Va Tech at plus 3.5. That's who I would lean to win this game. But 1 point, you got 2 points on it. Just not any sort of strong feelings whatsoever.
I don't really see this game even being very entertaining whatsoever.
No, of course not.
It's not a game I'm going to tune into. I'll just look at the final score when we get there, but yeah, it's not a very high confidence game for any of the numbers here. I just usually, if I don't see a good line I like, I usually just keep those points.
It's a good move. It's a smart move.
Yeah.
Next game. This is an interesting game. This is my lock this week, basically.
Lock of the week, huh?
Lock of the week. I have 5 points. Teaser. Not telling you who, what, where, when, or why I have 5 points yet. But Clemson, Iowa State. Clemson's playing a little bit better. Down the stretch here. They are ranked again. They are back in the rankings.
9-3. They came back from their really slow start. DJ, he's still not what we thought he was against that Notre Dame game last year. He shut out and threw 400 yards against Notre Dame last year, and maybe that tape of that game kind of shut him down against the rest of the teams this year. So DJ hasn't played very well. Iowa State, Brock Purdy and the gang. Another good. This is the one defense in Big 12 that's actually pretty solid besides Oklahoma State. Over-under is 44. Clemson's -1, so it's a pretty split down the middle. Another one of those kind of coin toss games. odds-wise. Clemson, like Pete said, pretty hot the last 5 at least. Shut out South Carolina.
That's a good South Carolina team that they shut out.
They're a decent squad. Wake Forest they beat up with a great quarterback. He's an NFL quarterback, probably mid-round quarterback next year. Beat up on his UConn Huskies that he loves so much. Louisville and Florida State, all those teams they beat up pretty good. 4 out of 5 were overs, but they're pretty low over-unders. I like the line at 44. I think it's one of those games you usually would pick the over here, but I think it's actually 50-50 split right down the middle, betting wise, over and under. So people don't know what the hell they're doing. I think there can be probably six touchdowns scored, and that's really about it. I think it's going to be a pretty slow game. I think Clemson will probably come on top here, because I think they've been pretty hot. I think Dabo, with a little extra time against a pretty good team, he can probably figure it out here, even though he hasn't done too well this year, at least his slow start. But I'm going to take the under, 44. Low number, once again, one of those pretty low numbers that we all love so much on this podcast. Under 44, and I'm going to take 4. That's a very scary pick for me, but I feel like this could be a 21-17 kind of game, maybe. I don't think Clemson's going to score much. Brock Purdy's fine.
No Breece Hall. I assume Breece Hall.
I would assume Breece Hall is probably going to the show.
I'm pretty sure he opted out for his draft.
So even more than if Breece Hall is playing, I guarantee the overrun would be around 48, maybe 49. So I'm going to take the under 44.
You're giving people a great reason to watch this game. It just got juicy. I'm taking the over. This is a lock. What's been the strong point of Clemson this year, Scott? It's been their defense, right? They've been pretty good. Their defense coordinator ain't there no more. Brent Venables has packed himself up, and he's hitched his wagons to the Oklahoma Sooners. He's taken 3 starters with him as well, who have transferred. They are out. Clemson's defense is going to be down and out here. They're missing 3 starters on defense. They're missing their defensive coordinator. He's been there forever calling plays for Dabo. Dabo's got a lot of pressure on him. He's been bitching and moaning about the new college football recruiting thing. And he had a bad season, man. Dabo, you're one more bad offensive season away from really having people look at you and question how good were you. You won with Deshaun Watson. Congratulations. A lot of people can win with Deshaun Watson. You won with Trevor Lawrence. Most people can win with Trevor Lawrence in college football.
And Etienne as well.
Yes. And he's crying about, people are paying people. Get over it. It's a new era, baby. So a lot for Dabo to prove on offense. DJ, like you said, he's been very mediocre, up and down. But they've hit their stride the last 5. Won 5 in a row, scoring a shit ton of points for this team. 44 is such a low number for a team that doesn't have their defensive play caller. Breece Hall being out for Iowa State means they got to throw the ball here. Now, they might try a new running back here. They can run out running backs there. I mean, shit, you look at Breece Hall's backup, Kade Wangu, in the NFL now, leading kick returner in the NFL. So they can put out running backs here. It's like the next tier of Georgia. It's like we can put out good NFL guys. We ain't putting out Georgia guys, but we putting out guys in the league. So I think there's going to be a ton of points. Iowa State has been so inconsistent on defense down the stretch here, giving up points. They gave up 14 to TCU. They gave up 28 to Oklahoma, another mediocre offense team. 38 to Tech. Yo, you can shut down Texas. Anybody can shut down Texas. 31 against West Virginia. Don't love that. Clemson hanging 30 on a very good South Carolina defense there. 30. Hung 48 on Wake Forest. Hung 44 on UConn. We ain't going to talk about that. 30 on Louisville. 30 on Florida State. So they're scoring points. Dabo has tried to show. I think people have just counted this team out because of the bad start. We're used to Clemson always being in the playoff here. I'm going 5 points on the over. 44 is just way too low for me here. Now, it's in Orlando, so could be raining there, but I think Orlando might be one of the few cities in Florida where it isn't rainy this time of the year.
No, it's Camping World Arena. They got the dome there.
The dome.
So they got
there
the
you
dome.
Go. Even better for me. Because if it was in Jacksonville, I'd be worried about that because the weather in Florida is not great this time of the year, no matter what they say. Unless you're hanging out in South Beach. That's about it. But now it's juicy. We got 9 points between us. Opposite bet on this game. 5 points on over 44. Cool. Next one, Oregon OU in the Alamo Bowl, right down the road from us.
Very interesting game here. Haven't been impressed with Oregon so much. When they play a good team, they don't do well, and they got beat up by my Utah Utes
twice.
barely squeaked past Oregon State. They're just not a team that we expect Oregon usually to be. Oklahoma, they had that Bedlam game that came down to the wire there, lost to Baylor, but they look pretty decent besides those two losses. Currently, Oklahoma's -4.5, over under 61. Oklahoma didn't have to travel too far. Oregon's coming all the way up from the Pacific Northwest, come down to the nice weather down here.
Yes.
When in
Anyway.
Eugene, it's probably 42 and miserable. But regardless of that, I'm really liking. I really think Oklahoma wants to show our guy Lincoln Riley that we don't need you. They don't like some shit's gonna happen soon with Lincoln Riley. People are already off that. People already hate him in Norman so much.
Oh, you talking about the message board rumors flying around Lincoln?
Yes, that could be
dropping
tomorrow.
On Saturday.
Tomorrow or Saturday, yeah.
Christmas Day.
So we'll see if that happens. But people don't like Lincoln Riley anymore. They think he's kind of a selfish prick. So I think Oklahoma kind of wants to show that they can win without him. They got Brent Venables coming in, who's kind of been on the road to being a head coach. He's probably had many opportunities, many rumors.
Left the nest
and finally went to a pretty good job in Norman, who's going to the SEC. So he's going to be an SEC coach. -4.5. I like with all those reasons. I like Oklahoma -4. Also, I don't want to make somebody too angry with me if I pick Oregon. So -4.5. I'm pick 3. Right down the middle there. Don't feel great. Oregon. I feel good, but Oregon could potentially win this game. But I like
4.5. It's a little bit of a number here.
Yeah, but I think Oklahoma. I think it actually might be a pretty high scoring game too. I think 61 is a little too low. Could be a little over 61, maybe in upper 60s. But -4.5, 3 points.
I'm with you on this. I feel for all the exact things you listed. Brent Venables, he was at Oklahoma forever under Stoops as a defensive assistant. There, he's finally back. OU is a very tight-knit group. I've never seen a fan base turn on a man that quick like they turned on Lincoln Riley. And not just like salty, but like with pure vitriol for him. Oregon, heading on down to San Antonio. It's going to be great weather. Festivities there. If you've never been down there, it's always a great week. The players are doing stuff. They're having fun. They're not used to it in Oregon. They got some freedom now here in Texas. They can go out and do stuff. I think that's going to really hurt the Ducks. They're just going to be enjoying life. They're going to be out and about, having fun. Oklahoma has a lot to prove in this game. They don't want to, there's a lot. They don't want to be like, hey, we were just our coach, this, that, and the other. They still have their quarterback. Caleb Williams didn't transfer. They still have a good young quarterback. New system that they're putting in, I'm assuming. I can't imagine much is staying the same there. Maybe they're getting ahead up, but I think Brent Venables was a huge morale boost to this team. I'm going to put 4 points on the Sooners here. I think they hammer Oregon. Oregon notoriously, didn't they blow like a 30-point lead in this game against TCU, I think, a couple years back? They're notorious for just kind of letting this one slide. They're let down after getting housed by Utah twice. I don't know how into it they're going to be. It's more of a vacation than anything. Can't ask for a better vacation, honestly, if you're coming from Eugene and you got to play in a average bowl game. Alamo Bowl, not it's an upper tier type bowl game as far as bowl games are concerned. But Oklahoma's going to have all the fans in the world. Texas, easy drive. Plus OU's got a strong fan base in the state of Texas as well. So I'm going to go with the Sooners -4.5. 4 points on this one. A lot of points on the 29th for me. I got gambling. That's my day. We're gonna, it's a good day. Not Christmassy. It's a good day to watch football. No NFL. Next game, North Carolina, South Carolina, 2 6-6 teams that feel like they should be better than 6-6.
So as you said in a few picks before, this would be my lock of the bowl season here. So UNC -9 against South Carolina, over under 58.5. A little Carolina Bowl here, Bank of America Stadium, in the Duke Mayo Bowl.
Oh!
Duke's Mayo Bowl. Duke Mayo. I don't know if ever had Duke's Mayo,
Did you see the famous Idaho Potato Bowl where they dumped the French fry?
They did, yeah.
Are they going to dump the mayo on the Mac Brown?
That would be terrifying. I don't think Mac would appreciate that too much. But, man, looking at this game, looking at the spread, I'm kind of going to stay away from the spread here. UNC 7-5 against the spread. It's our over/under. South Carolina's 5-7. They are more of an under team. But UNC's put up pretty good numbers. South Carolina, not so much, but for some reason to me, I think the over-under is way too low here. This game absolutely screams over to me. 58.5, I can definitely see at least 10 touchdowns in this game.
I agree.
I think UNC can at least put up 6 or 7 of those. It's a good. I mean, Sam Howell's a good quarterback. He's not the quarterback that we all thought he'd be a first-round pick. He'll squeak down the board a little bit, but he's one of those college quarterbacks that
he's a guy
can play college football very well.
He might win you over in the room. Who knows? He might be great on the board and win over some execs and squeak. There's always a surprise QB. There's no real front-runner QB anyway in the NFL draft this year. So.
But UNC has given up a decent amount of points as well. North Carolina State 34, Pitt 30, Wake Forest 55. They gave up 44 against Notre Dame. So just because they can put up points doesn't mean they are going to stop anybody as well. South Carolina put up a goose egg against Clemson. They're not a very prolific offense. They can probably, I'm guessing they can probably put up 4 touchdowns in this one. Maybe a 28, and then UNC can do the rest. Probably put up 5 or 6 to really easily cover that 58. They could cover that 50. I feel like they could cover that 58.5 by the third quarter. It'll be I think it could be a 35 or 38 to like 21 game by the third quarter. It'd be another kind of a track me. I think this over-under is way too low. I'm putting 5 on this one. It just screams points. It actually probably could be a pretty entertaining game as well. I'll probably tune. It's 10:30. Maybe not. I might not get up for that one. We'll see.
It's a little early.
10:30 is a little early. Maybe that's why the over-under is so low, because I don't think they want to get up for it either. But we'll see what happens. I like 5 and over 58.5.
Well, I don't know what it is. It's a bias I have, I guess. I like Beamer's boys down there in South Carolina. I'm getting 9 points right here. I'm gonna bet against Mac actually and Sam Howell. I love your overtake. That's a strong over there. But I like 9 points so much more. So North Carolina plays close game after close game. They had like a 2 touchdown. They have a 10-point lead against NC State, and they gave up 2 touchdowns in the last minute and a half. They play close games, North Carolina. And South Carolina makes things ugly. Everyone loves seeing young Beamer down there. That's going to be a scary team, I think, in a few years. Watch out for the Gamecocks. They just got Spencer Rattler coming in next year. Obviously, quarterback situation isn't their strong suit. I'm only going to put 3 here on the Gamecocks. It just might be my bias. I don't know. I just have a good feeling. 9 points is a ton for UNC to win this game by. Like you said, I don't know how much UNC even wants to be in this game. They were in the Orange Bowl last year, UNC. And so really kind of a letdown year for Mac and the boys, where South Carolina's trending the opposite direction. It is a home game. I mean, North Carolina, South Carolina, it's a great rivalry. The way they schedule this, it's in Charlotte at the Panther Stadium, so perfect for everybody, right on the border there. Should be a fun time for them, but like you said, so 11:30 kickoff local time. We'll catch the game in the second half. When you hit the over there.
Have a couple breakfast tacos or something.
Before
we tune in. Yep.
Bright and early there. So I'm just going to take the 9 points for South Carolina, but I'm only going to wager 3. Next game on the list, Tennessee and Purdue.
Oh man, this one's kind of tough. Both teams have been a little fluky with their wins and losses here. I mean Tennessee they beat up on Vandy. They got their ass kicked by Georgia. They beat a good Kentucky team, and they're
all over the goddamn place.
There's no consistency with Tennessee, as well with Purdue. Maybe the last 5 they beat up an Indiana team. Got their ass kicked by Ohio State, but then they also beat Michigan State.
They beat the number 2 team in the country twice.
So it literally makes no sense to me whatsoever. Either one of these teams. I don't know really what to do here. Where's this game in? Nashville. So this is at Nissan Stadium. I don't even know what this one's called, but Music City Bowl. Okay.
There you go. Low, so home game for Tennessee.
Yeah. So maybe that helps a little bit. They don't have to go too far to Nashville, but
Indiana.
So I think for this one I'm just gonna take Tennessee minus 4.5. This one just doesn't make.
It's not speaking to you.
This one doesn't scream anything to me here. So I'm gonna take the SEC team to beat the Big Ten team. Showing with the Big Ten team over under 64. That just smells Purdue. They're not that good on defense. They're not really a traditional Big Ten defense here. So
they're not. They're definitely not.
So minus 4.5 Tennessee. I think they can run around them a little bit. I think I'm only gonna take 1 on this one. I'll probably tune in, but I don't feel great about it.
So I'm pretty sure Purdue's starting quarterback is transferring. I was pretty sure he was the starter. I know a quarterback transferred from Purdue. Pretty sure he was the starter. Like you said, Purdue beat 2 top 10, lose to bad teams, beat Iowa and Michigan State when they're both ranked 2. They make no sense. Tennessee all over the goddamn place. But I'm going to go with Tennessee here. I don't know why. There's a lot of buzz around this program. They maybe weren't as good as everyone thought they were when they were going into that Georgia game. There's a lot of hype around them. This could be the team that beats Georgia. Got housed, really. But they're moving in the right direction. That's a program that has been down and out for the last 4 or 5 years. They've been trying to find the right direction. I don't know why. Tennessee's such a great place to play football. It's got such a great history, and you got Peyton Manning behind you, Old long neck over there. I'm going to put 3 points on the Volunteers here. Not really, a little bit of a home game. Indiana's right there, so Purdue, they're going to get out of the 20 feet of snow that they're under to make this game. I just can't trust Purdue, and when in doubt, go with the SEC team, like you said. This is kind of a mat game, not really moving much forward, but we're moving into the next one. This is probably the best game on this slate. It's the Peach Bowl. I believe we have the Pitt Panthers and the Michigan State Spartans, 2 top 15 teams playing in this game, 10 and 12 currently. Both teams are right there. They, Pitt, your ACC champion. Michigan State was, they just lost to Ohio State. Couldn't get it done. If they won that game, they would have been your conference champ probably. So, what are you looking at this game?
So, when I first looked at this game, I saw Pitt plus 2.5, Michigan State minus 2.5. I figured Pitt would maybe be the favorite in this one. I felt kind of ratty on this one, but I've scrolled down to see what the bets look like, and Michigan State was getting all the bets. So this line looked like gibberish to me. I don't have any idea what's going on here. I felt like Pittsburgh was, would have that recency bias. They just won the ACC championship. Michigan State.
Kenny's playing in this game, I believe.
But he is playing in this one, so that's probably the reason why I don't think Pitt can really stop the run very well.
They can't stop much very well.
So they gave up 21 to Wake, 14, 38, 23, 29. So they gave up some points, but our boy Kenny Pickett can sling it a little bit. This looked ratty to me. I felt like Pittsburgh would be getting most of the bets, and they weren't. So this more gave me the reason to pick Pitt, plus 2.5. Kenneth Walker is playing. Great player. It's going to be a top 2 round pick.
Is he playing? I thought he dropped out.
I think he is playing. I believe he is playing. I can take a look here, but I think he is playing. Looks like he's playing. He's playing the game. So they got a good running back.
He's out. Without Kenneth Walker. Oh, I love this pick even better.
So that makes more sense to me to pick Pitt.
Great.
Still doesn't make any sense to me that Michigan State's getting all the love here in the Peach Bowl.
Big Ten.
It's in Georgia. It's in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. None of it makes sense to me. I'd rather take the points with the team that won the ACC championship with a Heisman candidate quarterback.
Kenny Pickett opted out as well.
Now what am I going to do?
COVID. He opted out because of COVID, apparently.
Okay, well, this makes... Okay,
news.
So...
This was yesterday.
This is going to change things.
Interesting.
Wow. I would... So that's why it made no sense to me. I felt like if Kenny Pickett was a quarterback, even with Kenneth Walker in, Pitt would probably be the favorite, maybe by like 3. So now that Kenny Pickett's out...
The line didn't move too... I mean, the Pitt opened as a 4-point favorite. There you go.
Yeah. That makes a lot more sense now.
That makes a lot more sense.
I had no idea that was going on. So actually, I value... Obviously, I think you would too, value a quarterback more than a running back. I don't know who the Pitt quarterback is. I don't really care who the Pitt quarterback is. Kenny Pickett's the one that carried that team.
Yes.
He carried that team to an ACC championship, 40-plus touchdowns, Heisman candidate. Even with Kenneth Walker out, they probably have... It's Michigan State. They probably have a decent backup.
We'll figure something out.
So yeah, I think we're flip-flopping.
We are flipping here.
I'm flipping here. I don't know if I have any confidence in picking Pitt now without their star quarterback. Minus 2.5. That just seems like it's going to happen. 55.5. That might even be too many points. I'd even probably take the under in that. So yeah, we're gonna switch. Live flip flop. Michigan State -2.5. I'm gonna keep on my point. My confidence points. We're just gonna go 2 on this one.
Oh, 2. I'm sticking with 3. We're going with the Sparty here. Live update. Yeah, like you said, Kenny Pickett broke every Dan Marino record at Pittsburgh. He carried that team. Watching that, they were my lock in the ACC championship game a few weeks ago. That was a frustrating team to watch. Kenny Pickett's literally the only person on the team. The receivers aren't bad. They do have some guys that can go get the football. Pitt's defense is the real question here. The under, I'm loving the under in this dang game now.
Yep,
Holy shit. Michigan State can't throw the football, so the under feels like a lock in this game. But yeah, I'm going to flip. We're flipping. We're going with Sparty -2.5. Last game of the slate, so the 30th. I'm glad that New Year's Eve is for next week. Wisconsin, Arizona State, last game for us this week.
And it's good. It's good we're doing this, sort of week by week, because if we didn't know that, then everything would have changed here.
We agreed to do week by week just for this situation. Look at this. This is great content, people. We are prepared for the worst case scenarios.
So
especially with COVID. COVID's blowing up now. The lines are crazy.
Yeah, it's doing all kinds of stuff right now. But yeah, so we have Legion Stadium. We're playing in Vegas.
Vegas Bowl?
Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
I don't even know what this one's called.
I can't imagine. This has got to be their first bowl game.
Yeah.
The stadium just opened.
It probably has some obscure sponsor. We can
I'll
take a look here.
Give us your breakdown.
So we have Wisconsin, Arizona State. Wisconsin -6.5. Over/under is 41.5. Once again, one of those Big Ten defenses that don't give up too many points here.
It is the Las Vegas Bowl, straight.
Okay.
Straight Las Vegas Bowl, folks.
So, looking at the lines here, I'm going to take an over/under here, 41.5. Just really looking at the lines here. Under against Minnesota, 39, but the last 3 before that, 43.5, 41.5, 38.5, they put up some points, 35, 52. Good defense, Nebraska. With one of our Martinez's that's transferring, so they're going to have to pick up somebody else. Another Martinez.
If your last name is Martinez and you can throw a football, you should give a check out. Give a check out.
I'll give you Scott Frost's contact information. Yeah, so they've been putting up decent points. Iowa, that's also a Big Ten defense game, 27-7. That was obviously probably going to be an under. I don't know if we picked that game back in the day, but it was 35.5. One of those games that you take the under and watch it for defense. But like I said, Wisconsin, big defense team, 41.5. They can Wisconsin can score some points.
The last 5 weeks for Wisconsin's been very strong.
Yeah, so they can put up at least 28. They can put up 4 touchdowns, maybe add a field goal in there to 31. I think Arizona State can at least get 10, 17. I like the over 41.5. It is, like I said, one of those Big Ten defenses, but Arizona State has shown they can score a few points, and I think they can get some points in there. They put up 38 against Arizona, 35 against Washington, 31 against USC, who's a decent. They're okay. USC's all right, but against Oregon State only 10. But I think they can put up some points here. They're in the dome in
Allegiant.
Well, I don't even know if it's a dome. It's just
indoors. I think they are closed. It's not like LA. LA's got like the open top. It's weird now.
Yeah, and they got the glass windows. Yeah. So it's gonna be good weather. Wisconsin's not gonna be in Wisconsin. It's gonna be snowy blizzard, cold as hell. I think Arizona State can put up at least 17 points. I think 41.5 is very gettable. And I'm gonna put 2. Just put 2 on this one. Even though I feel a little, I'm actually gonna put 3 on this one. I feel a little better than just 2. We're gonna go ahead and switch that one to 3. A lot of flip flops going on here.
That's what we're here for. I love Herm Edwards as a coach. I really loved what he was doing his first few years at Arizona State. Kind of petered out this year. They've lost a lot of games they probably should have won. They were ranked to start this season, and it just didn't live up to it. Wisconsin's been as hot as can be. They lost to the border battle to Minnesota. That happens. Rivalry weeks are always rivalry weeks. That's a tough game. I like you said, Wisconsin actually score some points. Paul Chris is as solid can be as a head coach standpoint. Wisconsin has no business being this relatively good and competitive every single year. Who the hell wants to go play football at Wisconsin? Yeah. Let's be realistic. In the Big Ten, when you can recruit so much better to schools, but he does a great job for that program. Arizona State they They don't do anything for me. They do not do anything for me. So I'm going to swallow 6.5 here. I'd be a lot more afraid if it was 7.5, but just under a touchdown feels right for me. Like you said, Wisconsin going to score some points. Arizona State probably going to score some points. Feels like a game that Arizona State loses in the second half. Wisconsin's a better coach team. They're more consistent. They're just going to be scored 14 unanswered in the third or fourth quarter, and Arizona State's going to lose this game. So I'm actually going to put 4 on the Badgers here. I'm putting a lot on the Badgers. I like what I see from Wisconsin. This is all relatively speaking. We're not talking about real football teams here. These are all fake football teams. You don't make the real games until next week. Then I'll really hit you with analysis. So, but for what Wisconsin is, I love what they do. I feel no heat from the Pac-12 whatsoever. We've seen how shitty the Pac-12 is. Their best team was a total train wreck. When Utah can just come out of nowhere and kind of pretty much house everybody to win that conference, it's really not a great look for the conference this year. Now, next year, watch out for the Utes. Okay, but that's not this year. So, yeah, 4 points on the Badgers. Do you want to go quick rundown? This thing is going forever. I know that.
Yeah, a lot of games this week. So
a lot of games. Give us
hang with us a little bit. So I'll go real quick. Memphis, Hawaii over 55.5, 4 points. Ball State +5 against Georgia State, just 2 points on that one. Nevada, Western Michigan over 56, 2 points on that one. Boston College -3 against ECU, 2 points. Houston +2.5 versus Auburn, 3 points. Louisville -1 against Air Force, 3. Mississippi State, Texas Tech, and the Mike Leach Bowl under 59.5 for 4. UCLA, NC State over 59.5 for 3. Minnesota -4.5 against West Virginia for 4. SMU, UVA, have no idea what's going to happen there, so we're just going to pick the over 71.5 for 1. Virginia Tech +3.5 versus Maryland for 2. Clemson, Iowa State under 44 for 4. Oklahoma State -4.5 in the Alamo Bowl versus Oregon for 3. South Carolina, the Carolina Bowl, UNC, South Carolina over 58.5, my lock ish for 5. Tennessee -4.5 versus Purdue. Have no idea what's happening in that one. We're just gonna take 1 on that. Michigan State, the flip flop game. We're gonna take that -2.5 versus Pittsburgh for 2. We're gonna keep it at 2.
Lifeless.
Very strange game now. I don't know what's going to happen there. And then Wisconsin, Arizona State over 41.5 for 3 points.
All right, I'll give you mine quick. Again, these are all on screen for everybody. I'm taking Hawaii +8.5 for 3 points. Georgia State -5.5 for 2. Nevada +6.5 for 2. Eastern Carolina for +3 for 1. Houston +2.5 for 4 points. Air Force, Louisville over 55.5, 1 point. Mississippi State -9.5 for 3 points. NC State -1.5 for 2 points. Minnesota -4.5 for 3 points. UVA -2.5 for 4 points. Vatech +3.5 for 1 point. Clemson, Iowa State over 44, my lock-ish, 5 points right there. OU -4.5 for 4 points. South Carolina +9 for 3 points. Tennessee -4.5 for 3 points. Michigan State -2.5 for 3 points. And Wisconsin -6.5 for 4 points. Good week, Scott. Great in person. Next week's the big week, though. We got the big boy games coming next week.
Yep, looking forward to those. A lot of games this week, as you have heard. We have nothing for you. We're just mostly guessing here. Next week is going to be completely different. We know a lot more about these teams that are coming up in the playoff and the big bowl games. You got the Rose Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, everything like that. So it's going to be a lot more.
I'm hoping they get played.
I think they will, but who knows, man? I really hope they do too, because these are some good matchups. Finally, we got a non-Power 5 team in the playoff that, you know.
And they're having some trouble right now, I'm hearing, on the inside. And did you hear that we may not have a national champion this year? They will not reschedule that game if both teams are having COVID issues.
Well, that wouldn't be fun for us, because then we can't give you winners. At least I can't give you winners.
Don't call me like that. I'm the entertainment on this channel, okay? I'm the plucky comic relief.
Clearly, Pete. Clearly. But just a little update here. UCF 16-10. Florida's about to score here, so we'll see how
You're looking good.
Under does. We'll see what happens. But good
Good week.
Good show. Good show live in person. I like it out here.
We're doing live next week too.
I think we are. I think we're gonna do that.
We'll have a better setup. There was some equipment malfunction. We got better equipment coming next week. We're gonna be ready to go.
Love to hear it. Love to hear that. But yeah, we'll see what happens to these games. I'll be watching some of them, not so much the others, but next week will be a different ball game.
Oh, big time next week. So, again, if you like it, like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can watch us on YouTube if you're listening on Spotify. We got video. You can see our beautiful faces in person together. Also, daily content on the YouTube channel. And, yeah, we'll see you all next week.